Hello everyone, welcome to all of you on Nurture. My name is Yash. I will be the moderator for today's session. As you all know, today is the 23rd session of Chess Gurukul by Grandmaster R B Ramesh sir, 52-week program. And
hello Yash.
hello sir, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good sir.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and
Sir, let me introduce the topic for today. The topic for today is the Ultron ending.
yeah. So we'll be looking at bishop and pawn endings today.
Okay, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Yash.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Yeah, the topic themes are very very interesting. Someone is extremely creative. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So let's just wait for a few more seconds. People are still logging in. So once have a healthy number. Yeah, good night, Rishi Charan. So are you able to see the chess screen clearly? I've shared the chessboard. Game between Halifman versus Valery Salov. Okay. The board is small. Okay, let me try to make it bigger. It is big. Okay, Ultron, it is like there is a series of movies, Avengers. In the Avengers series, there is a character, Ultron. Okay, fine. So today's topic is about same color bishop. We'll look at Age of Ultron. So same color bishop and games. In the dream room, in a few episodes, I have the board will be much bigger. Okay, thank you. Iron Man's failed experiment. Okay, so I hope the board is bigger now. Okay, thanks, Akshat Kumar. Yeah, so people are still logging in. Hello, everyone. Yeah, the d pawn is weak. More than the d pawn is weak, the bishop b2 is bad bishop. Okay, because of the d pawn. Okay, so in the dream room, I have discussed about the bad bishop in few chapters and given many examples. So today we will be seeing some from them and some which I have not shown. This one is not there in the dream room videos. Okay, so about the bad bishop. Now, when does a bishop become bad? When does a bishop become a bad bishop? Any idea? What is the criteria for a bishop to become a bad bishop? Yeah, when it is blocked by pawns, but more importantly, the central pawns. Okay, so if we have central pawns in the same color as our bishop, then that bishop could become a bad bishop. Now, regarding bad bishop, we have to know few things. Okay, so remember clearly, it is the central pawns that usually make a bishop bad. Okay, not like the h2 and f2 pawns. They are also in black squares, the same color as the bishop. But the bishop b2 is not bad bishop because of the h2 pawn or the f2 pawn, right? It is mainly because of the d4 pawn. Okay, so now the central pawns make a bishop bad, and one thing we have to know is in the middle game, if you have bad bishop, it is not so bad. Okay, so remember this. When you are playing in a game, and if it is middle game and you have a bad bishop, you don't have to worry too much. But in the end game, if you have a bad bishop, then you need to worry a lot. Okay, so that already shows us gives us some idea. What is that? So I just said in middle game, it is okay to have bad bishop because there are other pieces. Okay, there are other pieces that will compensate the bad bishop. But in endgame, it is not a great idea to have a bad bishop because there are less pieces, and with among the less pieces, one of them is bad. So what does that tell us? What we should be doing? If your opponent has a bad bishop, what should we try to do? Try to exchange pieces and go to endgame. Okay, and that will increase our chances to play for a win. Akshit, can you please change to all panelists alone? So whatever you're typing now can be seen by others as well. So that could distract them. So could you please turn it to all panelist option? Akshit Narava. Okay, so what should black do here? Turn out losing the A6 pawn, Vanish Agarwal. Mudit, Bansal, yes. Three, yes. Yash, Alok Sinha, yes. Okay, Queen C7. Okay, Madhavan suggests Queen C7. For Queen C7, what should be black's reply? It's attacking the H2 pawn. What should white do for Queen C7? H3 or G3? What is the reason? If you have to play H3 or G3, what would you choose? That is my question for Queen C7. Yeah, in general, the pawn near the king, we should keep it in the same color as opponent bishop. Okay, so many people will like to play H3 because the pawn cannot be attacked by the bishop. Okay, but G3 will restrict this bishop. It will make the bishop passive. So I've told many times that near the king, the pawn should be kept in the same color as a opponent bishop. Srikar, you should have known this. I'm surprised you said H3. Okay, but he did not play Queen C7 because we also have Rook C1 option. Played B5. This is a very important move. Yeah, Arnav, you said Rook C1. That is good. Better than H3 or G3. But I wanted to teach how to keep the pawns near the king. That is why I asked the question. Okay. So he played B5 and he took. Now, so Mohammad Bashik, can you please change to all panelists? So whatever you type, others can see. Okay, so now we know the principle, right? So once we know the principle, we simply have to apply. So it's very important we have good knowledge about the principles. Now, what do you think about this endgame? Okay, he's inviting further exchanges. What to do? What do you think about this endgame, bishop endgame? Should we keep the rook or should we exchange the rook? And if we exchange the rook, what is your assessment about the position? Kushal Jani, rook e1 check will come. Rook e1, queen into d3. So Kushal Jani asked Um, okay, sorry about that. So Kushal Jani asked, what is bishop a3 now? Okay, bishop a3, rook a3, and back rank mate. Okay, so that's losing. Okay, both have back rank problems. Okay, so you could play like rook e1. Okay, you could play like rook e8, but he will play king f1. Idea rook e1. Okay, so you could go like rook e8. Idea rook e2. He'll play king f1 and stop. Idea is rook e1. And for after rook e1, if you play rook c8, he'll come rook c1. Rook a8, rook a1. Okay, so it is possible to play like this, but he took. Okay, now regarding the assessment of the position, you could say black is slightly better, obviously, because of the d4 pawn and the bad bishop on a1. Okay, but whether it is enough to win the game or not, that is a completely different question. Okay, so the position is actually drawn. Black is playing for a win, but if white plays correctly, it should end in a draw. Okay, but we have seen hundreds of times, thousands of times where the position is equal, but it is very difficult for a human being to defend such positions practically over the board. Okay, somewhere the defending side will make a mistake and the side with advantage will win the game, usually. Okay, especially if black is a good player who has a good knowledge of endgames. Okay, so there are many examples where drawn positions are won by the better player. Okay, so this is what happened in this game also. So white is Caliph Man, his rating is 2660, and black is Valery Salo, 2685. Okay, black is like 25 points more than white. And black won this endgame, but the position is objectively equal drawn. Okay, but it is very difficult to defend with white pieces. Okay, so what to do? Kushal Jani, correct? Alok Sinha, correct? Speaker, correct? See, now what should be black's aim here? What should be black's objective? In the near future, what should black try to do? Pawn promotion. Which pawn? You don't have a pass pawn. You cannot promote pawns. You have to include the king. Okay, the king should come into the game. Now the question is how to bring the king into the game. And many of you suggested b4. You don't have to take such a drastic decision so early. Okay, if at all you have to play b4, you can wait and play it anytime. Since white cannot prevent black from playing b4. You should not rush. So the main question what black is facing here is how effectively to get the king into the game. Okay, now in the dream room in one episode and the webinar, I have analyzed one game Fisher versus Saidi Fisher. It was a knight versus good knight versus bad bishop endgame. Very similar, but instead of the bishop, he will have a knight on e6. Okay, and Fisher followed a plan, and here Caliph Man follows a similar plan. I don't know how many of you have seen that episode. Have you seen that game Fisher's ID, Sidey Fisher? Good night, Bad Bishop. Okay, and he followed the same idea where he did H5. Yeah, Srikar, very good. So what's the point of H5? Why? What's the point of, yeah. So the king wants to advance in a different, so it's a nice route, right? So you see how players are coming up creatively with good ideas. Okay, H3, we can understand, but it is really not necessary. Okay, he could, he doesn't have to play so passively. He's playing logically, but it is also passive. Okay, you could actually go for F4 plans, G3 F4 plans. Okay, but that is a risky way. But let me show quickly. Just trying to get the bishop into the game. G3, not H3. Now, if you play F5, I'll push F4, and if you get a chance, I'll push H4, and no entry for the king. And without king entry, it should be a simple draw. Okay, so you could come out like this. And now there is no entry. Okay, but you could try something like this. Idea bishop at 6 check, but you will still have king d3 and no entry. Okay, so if you come here, this is what I was saying. Okay, now I just have to play like king d3, king e3, king d3, king e3, king d3, king e3. No entry. Okay, so something like this white could have tried, but he played a move which is very logical. He doesn't want to keep the pawns in the bishop color in an endgame. Okay, but this just makes things more difficult for white. He bringing the king, more logical. This is a very important decision. Okay, now in many same color bishop end games, we will see on the side where the side with advantage is not playing for win, he will fix the pawn in the same color as bishop. Now here he is doing the same thing. He has a black bishop and is playing b4. Okay, this is just to restrict the opponent. And remember one very important thing in all such endgames. Okay, the winning side will win usually because of zugzwang. Okay, you have to put your opponent in zugzwang. Basically, give the move to the opponent, and whatever he does, it will create some concession. Using that, we can win the game. Okay, fine. So now he's getting the king up. Okay, now many of you suggested g5. So this is the second critical moment in the endgame. So the first critical moment was whether to play h3 or not. Okay, had he not played h3, that would have made things easier. We have seen already when he plays g4, you play hg4, and then f4, it is equal. So that's the first small mistake he committed. And now he made a big mistake. What should black do here? Sorry, what should white play here? You can think and tell, you don't have to rush. Now there is a move which if white had played that move, he could have made a draw. Okay, Dakshayani is asking, are all bishop endgames drawn? No way. How can you say all bishop endgames are drawn? No. If there are enough weaknesses, you can play for them. So there is a choice for white here. So you could try Sandeep, can you please change to all panelists? So you could come with the king here, or you could improve the bishop. These are the choices white has. Okay, you can come up king f3, provoke him to play g4, hg4, hg4, king e3, and then sit tight and try to make a draw. Or you could go king d3 with similar ideas, not giving any entry. Or you could say, I would just play bishop c1 and improve my bishop. Bishop c1, bishop e3, something like that. Only one is good, other two are not good. Okay, so can I show the answer? Can I show the analysis? Or anyone needs more time? Okay, I'll give a couple of minutes, you can think. Some of the audience, they need little more time. So okay, so now let me show the analysis. Okay, in the game he played bishop c1. That is not such a good move. Now king f3 is very tempting because we have already seen similar position, right? Now we are threatening to play g4 check. White is threatening to play g4 check. So black should play g4, hg4, hg4. And now if you go king e2, king e4 will come. Once king e4 comes, we can come like bishop f8, bishop g7, or bishop c7, bishop d6, and the d4 pawn will fall. So he has to play king e3, not allowing king e4. Now we can improve the bishop. Idea bishop at 6 check. So if bishop c1, bishop at 6 check is coming, and king d3, bishop at 6. Now if you see, white is kind of in zugzwang. Do you sense that? Can you feel that black is slowly getting into zugzwang position? Okay, he cannot move the pawns. If he moves the king, king e4 will come. Okay, and with bishop a1, bishop c1. So now he is in zugzwang, but he has king c2. Now if you move the bishop, he will again play king d3. So what to do? Now my question, can we play king e4, sacrifice the bishop, try to play king f3, king f2, and then f5, f4, g3, something like that? Can we do that or not? Do some calculation and tell me. Please calculate. King e4 is not good. There is a simple refutation. Find it. Okay, so let me show the analysis. If king e4, he can take, and when we go king f3, now what would he play? What would he play? Yes, counter tactics. So we should not think falsely that only we have a right to sacrifice pieces and our opponent doesn't have that right. No, our opponent can also sacrifice pieces, and suddenly the b pawn is dangerous. Okay, he will take bishop b4, bishop d6, and then roll the b pawn. Okay, so for this reason, it's not good to play king e4. So what should we do? How can we play forward? So if you come back bishop h6, king d3. Wherever you move the bishop is going to do the same. So you should come here. Why bishop a3? Why bishop a3? Why not keep the bishop on h6 or g5? Yeah, not allowing bb2. Now the bishop is stuck. Okay, so white pawns cannot move. Bishop cannot move. So only the king can move. Okay, but the thing is, if it is white to play, it will be fantastic. He has to move the king and king e4 will come. But it is black to play. So if you play f6, he will come king e3. Okay, so he'll play king e3, king d3, king e3, king d3. Okay, so we have to find a way through, break through. Somehow we should break through, and f6 is not Zugzwang. He has king e3 and then king d3. Okay, so that is not winning. So now we want to roll the pawn. Now instead of this, if he plays f4 check, we have to take, otherwise no entry. And now you can put him in Zugzwang. f4 is draw, but bishop c1, he is in Zugzwang. That's now king e3. Okay, and then you go king g. If he goes king f2, king g4, king g2, now you play f4. gf4, king f4, king e4, bishop e3, bishop e2, d4. Okay, so he waits, then what? Yeah, you don't have any plan, so you have to try this. He waits. Yeah, here you have an option. You can play f3 or you can take fg3. But why decide that when you can improve? Your idea is king e4. Now what? Did anyone find the win? There's a forced win. Yeah. So takes, bishop c1, looks on. King c2, top. Yeah, you can also try without taking the pawn, because if you have e3, fg3. That is also winning. Okay, now it's over. Okay, so you see the zugzwang is playing a very important role. Now in this position, if it is black to play, how you can win? So it is because it is white to play, we are winning. Okay, so in the game, okay, king f3 we saw. He should have played king d3. This was better. Okay, a3, that is also fine. Okay, so king f3 was not played in the game. He played bishop c1. Okay, now that is also happening. That's also fine. So if king d3 was the better option. Now if he plays h4, g4, king f4, idea king f3, king g2 winning. Unfortunately, this comes and it is role reversal. Okay, so now g4, he'll play h4, no entry. Okay, so this is what he should have done. He should have played king d3 and everything is fine. But he played bishop c1. This is not good. What is the difference? How can white play for a win here? You have to give me two more variation, okay? Not one more. One and a half more, right? Black move, white move, black move I want. Guys, be careful. Outside pass pawn is dangerous. Yeah, Srikar, you are right. Akshit Kumar, you are right. CNAP, you are right. So Ayush is asking, king d3 looks natural. So why a 2650 could not find it? The problem is all the three moves look natural. Okay, king d3, king f3, bishop c1. Bishop c1 also looks natural. Okay, and practically with less time, with the tournament pressure, mistakes are possible. Okay, and once you know this, you should be careful when you're defending slightly worse endgames, because after the game we will know what mistake we have made, but during the game we won't know. Okay, so Sai Varshit, yes, you are right. So we should play G4. Now if H4, we have King E4, and the D pawn will be lost. The bishop will attack the D pawn and it's lost. So this is forced. And now this move is possible. So with King D3, G4, we could have met H4. There is no King E4. But now that was not possible. And now black is winning. Okay, but how? Yeah, roll the next pawn. So we want to play F4 and then create outside pass pawn, H pawn. So why this? Why bishop E1? He wants to play F4 or he wants to play F3 check. One of them. So can we still play F4 or not? Okay. He just repeated moves. He played F4. Now if GF4, what to do? If GF4, actually any capture is fine. You could play king into F4, idea H4, and only way to stop H4 is play F3. Then what? GF4, king F4, idea H4, F3, and now find the correct one. Sandeep, very good. Yeah, and now, okay, yeah, almost everyone is finding. So if GF4, king F4, F3, stopping H4, you simply come back, idea H4. Okay, and outside pass pawn is more dangerous than central pass pawn. So played F3 check. Are now correct. F3, very good. Few of you are very alert. Many others very careless. Now you have to play a move which finishes the game on the spot. Finito. Srikar. First time you should get these things correct. It's over. Now what is the point? What is the point? Vikram Kara to calculate properly. Vikram says bishop g3, but you'll take bishop g3, king g3, and f6. White will promote first. Okay, so that's a blunder. This is the whole point. Okay, now we want to push the h pawn. Cannot be stopped. Okay, so he tries one last trick. What is the last trick? Oh, yeah, very good. No, bb4, bb4. And the bishop will stop both b3 and f pawn on the same diagonal. And the h pawn cannot be stopped. So bb4 is a blunder. So his last chance is this. Okay. And then what he is trying? He wants to give the bishop for the h pawn and push the b pawn. Okay. Rishton Gupta, can you please change to all panelists? So we should not be greedy about the d4 pawn. Kya karta hai? What to do now? I don't want to give clues. Many are falling in the trap. Very happy. So he played one move and he resigned. So can you tell me why bishop h4 is bad? Many of you suggested bishop h4. That's a blunder. Why bishop h4 is a blunder? Yeah, 4 is very good. So bishop h4 is a mistake because we completely forgot about the other pawn. Check. This is the problem. Weird queen check. Okay. So and it will be a tragedy. White will be playing further and white is winning. Okay. So it takes only one careless mistake to throw away all the hard work, effort of all the hard work. But this it's over. He cannot take because of h2. If he moves the bishop in this diagonal, bishop b4 first, and then h2, and then you come bishop g3 and then. Okay. So it was a nice end game. Let's go to the next end game, another end game. So on. Okay. So this is the position. Black to play. One minute, guys. So some of you are asking when is the next session. So we have the next session on Monday, 29th. Okay. Same time like today. So we have to give this. And what is the point? We are going to come and take this, but still it will be equal pawns, 4 versus 4. And white can create a pass pawn here. So explain logically, logical, logical, logical. Okay, now is bishop a4 possible or not? Can white take bishop a4 or not? variations. So people are just saying no. Okay, that is very logical because you have outside pass pawn. And bishop a4, king a4, if e5, f e5, f e5, king b5, and the king will stop the pawn. Right. But that is not the main line. The main line is this. Okay, he's trying to shoulder away the king. So now if he goes king c2, you will come king c4, king d4, and win all the kingside pawns. So now if you push this, luckily you have this move, and it is winning. If you don't have this move, then it's a different story. Okay, you still have king b5 also. King b5, e6, king c6. But the point is your king can come back. Okay. So he cannot go for the exchange. So he kept the bishop on the board. So the next class is only on Monday, okay, not tomorrow. Pranav Bharadwaj, please change to all panelists. Okay, Pranav, this position is winning for black. That's why. Okay, black is winning here. So where we should move the bishop? That is the question. So should you go bishop d1 c2 diagonal or e8 a4 diagonal? Okay, some people are suggesting bishop b3, but bad news. White is winning. Guys, don't be careless. Okay, so it's only choice between this square or this diagonal. Okay, so he played bishop c2. Let's see. The one of the reason for keeping this diagonal is after you play a4 a3, you can play bb3. So Omkaram, why white is not winning? So Omkaram says after bb3, bb3, king b3, e5, white is not winning. Why? No, but he will give check and take the pawns. Like queen of 7 check. Okay. Okay. So what everyone is saying, this is draw. Okay. But unfortunately, this is coming. Where you will go? If you go to the A file, queen will be exchanged. If king c3, queen e5. So this is first. Now you just check. If you go to the first rank, queen f1. If king b2, queen d4. Okay. So it's over. Okay. You will exchange the queen. The king will come and eat the king's side pawns. So it's not a draw, unfortunately. Nice, no? Queen b5 check. But here, black is playing for win, right? So why should we play bb3 and then somehow fight for a draw? Doesn't make sense, right? Okay, what to do? Venkat Sai Peram, I don't understand your move. Okay, so here we have few options. One is straight away advance the pawn, or come back with the king c5. So initially, almost everyone said king c5, but a4 is also good. And now, if you do this, he has bishop a4. Okay, so this is also possible. Declare king c5. Now, if bishop a2, then we play a4, bishop b3. Okay, a4 and bb3 will come. So he played here. If a4, bishop h7, then play h6. Now he's going to play a4, a3. Okay, let king d6. Stop the pawn, stop the counterplay. When there is a simple win, you should go for the simple solution. Don't overcomplicate. Okay, he just played bp3. Now the pawn is lost. If e7, king e7, the bishop is supported. Okay, and he won the game. Okay, pawn up, and he won the game. So can we go to next example? So here we saw having an outside pass pawn is very good. Okay, so this endgame happened. White missed some wins earlier, and finally they reached this position. And White thought he is winning after this. What should he do? Yeah, I played bd2. And he thought, okay, I'll win the b pawn and then outside pass pawn, and it should be an easy win. Okay, player's name is not same. Since I do load next game, the first game data is staying. It's not changing. Okay, how can black create counterplay here? This is Gelfand versus Peter Liko. Boris Gelfand versus Peter Liko. Okay, many of you say king e4. That's not the move. Let bishop c5. So now if you do bishop takes pawn, he will take bishop takes pawn. So f3 is forced. Okay, how can black play for win here? Sorry, black play for draw. Do some analysis, please. Don't simply make a guess. You have to find the correct path here. Please think for at least a couple of minutes. Okay, so almost no one gave the correct answer. Almost everyone said bishop g1, all that stuff, but simply push, advance the pawns. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to fix and then come and attack the pawn. Okay, so takes. Now here. Okay, now what to do? Now he played a move which made it very difficult for him, and the next move he made another mistake and he lost. So first move is not a mistake, but it set up the mistake on the next move. So be careful, do some calculation and find the correct move. So there is a mistake possible here. Most of you have suggested it. Okay, welcome Dakshani. So nobody has given the correct move. Okay, Venkat Sai Prem Peram has given. Sandeep also. I think Sandeep, you are relying more on chess base. Okay, so the best move here is try to fix g4 and then attack the pawn. Okay, this would have given him chances for a draw. Now, let's say if he comes here. Now he wants to push the a pawn. So you fix the pawn. Okay, so if you try this, okay, now idea g3. So, and if you take everything and push, the king will stop that pawn. What is the point? What is the point for black's idea? Yeah, wrong color. Okay, so Dakshani, please change to all panelists. So this game is between Gelfand versus Peter Liko. So because of the wrong pawn, they should end in a draw. Yeah. So Dakshini, please change to all panelists. Okay. So he should have played g5, g4, but he played the move which almost all of you typed. This move. Thanks, Dakshini. He played the move which looked so natural, but Luckily for him, even here it is a draw, but now he has to play very accurately to make a draw. Very difficult without computer analysis. Okay, Venkatasai, I hope you will increase your rating in FIDE tournaments as well, not just in chess.com. It's only one move that draws. So Kushal Jani asked a question. So let me go back a little bit. So he said, um, I said G5 is the best move. And now why not G4? But this is simply draw because you'll just come and win the pawn. And the bishop will be sacrificed for the A pawn. So that's why he did not play. It's almost impossible to find this move without computer help. Anyway, you can give it a try. Okay, so most popular moves are like King E4, G5, Bishop E3, something like that. But the only move that can make a draw is okay. Let's see some variations. If you just push the pawn, now cannot stop King E4, King F3. Nice. Now there are other variations also. So let us see why that makes more sense. Now, now the king is not able to come out. It's stuck. Okay, king is in a cage. Now he wants to push A4, B6, A5, A6, A7. So if A6, then bishop F2. Okay, etc. On time. Okay, so there are some variations like this, but he played G5. Now he thought, I'll just sacrifice the bishop for the A pawn, and I'll come King E4, King F3, win the G pawn, and it is a win, draw. But his assessment is wrong. Why is it wrong? Now, how can white play for them? he is going to play king e4, king f3. Okay, he played, just roll the pawn. Okay, so the point is, if you go king e4, which was his original idea, you outflank him, shoulder away, not outflank, shoulder away. Okay, you don't let the black king come back. If you come here, what to do? Srikar, no. Om Kanam, no. So I'm already answering the questions in Q&A. I've answered all the questions asked to me in Q&A in this session so far. So many of you are suggesting bishop c5, but you'll come bishop e1, right? So why not just push a5 first? Push a6 and then play bishop c5. Okay? So this he calculated. So he did not play bt2. Many of you gave bt2. Okay. But he understood king e4, king f3 is not possible because we'll just push a5, a6 and then bishop c5, promote the pawn. Okay. So this he did not expect. So he plays this. So now what he should have done, he should have kept the pawn on g6. And when a5 comes, bishop a5, and then play g5, could have made a draw. But here what he has done, before giving the bishop for the a pawn, he has pushed g5. Now, what should white do? How can he exploit this? There is one good move and one bad move possible here. Okay, so many of you said best move is something and that is the worst move. Black will make a draw. That is one good move, one bad move. Same idea both. Yeah, Ayush, you're right. Now, yes. Okay, now people are getting it. So BD2, earlier everyone was suggesting BD2 automatically, but it is a draw after this. Because if you play A5, bishop A5, bishop A5, king E4 draw. So next is going to play king E4, king F3 and etc. Okay, so you should play bishop E7, not allowing bishop D8. Okay, now if he comes bishop E3 now, what to do? If bishop E3. The drawback of bishop E3 is can simply go up. Okay, and again the same plan, A5, A6 you will push. Whenever he goes king E4, king F3, you will have bishop C5. Block the diagonal and promote the A pawn. Okay, so he went king E4 direct, but now this is losing. Why? A3 correct. Om Kadam, yes. Yeah, so what you do, you just drive the king away from the A8 square. Now, with the king and bishop, you can promote the A pawn. Okay. Now he cannot take the bishop. He has to move. Now all you have to do, block the diagonal and promote. Otherwise, what he will do, if you go here, he will come here. Okay, so he comes here. Now you cannot play bishop e1, you cannot play bb6. So you cannot stop a5, a6. The king is rushing back. Now, you have to play one careful move and it is over. You should play this, shouldering away. Otherwise, he will come. And they will try to come like this. Okay, block the path. Now what you do? Now you push a6, bishop a5, bishop b6. Accurate move. Not allowing king b4. Gaining time. Now it's over. Now you're going to play bb6, bb8, king b7. Over. Okay. So good technique by Gelfand. So this game is between Gelfand versus Peter Lico. So let's see another example. Okay. So this is an interesting end game, and this was the critical moment in the game. So if white wants to play safe, he should play AB5. But white is playing for a win. Karpov. Okay, white is Karpov, black is Vanveli. So he has two pass pawns, and they both are separated from each other. Okay, he has connected pass pawns. Very messy position, right? So I'm not asking you to analyze this. So both are trying to promote the pawns. Now idea A7, BB8. Okay. From here, let us see. Okay. So you come king E2. Now you try to come and collect the pawns. So you see how careful he is. He is not playing king d2 because after b3, king c3, bishop e5 check, something could come. But okay, that is also possible. But why give such options? b3 was also possible. He could have played b3 instead of giving the c2 pawn. But this is also draw. What should white do here? Yeah, okay. Very good. He's waiting. What to do? You can improve. He waits. What to do? The position is equal here, but Karpov won this. And one of the psychological factors we should never forget in such endgames is like when we play such a very long game and where one side is defending, at some point you will get tired and you'll make some mistake somewhere. And this has happened many times in professional chess. Okay, so the factor of tiredness we should never underestimate. Okay, so in your games also, you should have good stamina to play long games. And then when you have some small chances to play for win, keep pushing your opponent. Obviously, you should not collapse first. And if you keep pushing enough for enough time, there is a chance your opponent can make a mistake out of tiredness or carelessness. Okay, so he just waits. Let's quickly go to, he keeps waiting. So idea is to take the pawn. Finally, this position comes. Okay, now black made a blunder. What should black do here? Okay, Dakshani, what you said, that's what he played, and that's a blunder. There is only one move that gives equality. Okay, so remember one thing. If your king is not able to go to the front and stop the pawn, you can go from behind and create problems. And there is a defense position called Centurini. Okay, you can try to go behind the pawn and draw, make a draw. So he played h4 and lost, but he should have played king b4, trying to come this way. Okay, I'll just show the variation. Just to save the bishop. And this allows g5 break. Okay, and you try to keep the pawn, then he creates a pass pawn and escapes. Okay, so this is what he should have done. But he played h4. He thought he's in kind of zugzwang. And Now he tries the same idea. One more shot. This is very professional move. He's going to play h4. So if you play king h3, f6, f7, f8 cannot stop. Okay, bishop is on perfection till the end. Okay, and he won the game. Okay, so someone is asking, can we play bullet games? No, I'm sorry. Okay, so we have seen few interesting and instructive bishop and pawn end games. Okay, we saw the value of having outside pass pawn and having pawns in the same color as the bishop, how difficult it makes the defensive job, and various attempts where in many equal positions people were making mistakes, and in equal position strong players are able to outplay their opponents and win. Okay, so this is a very important quality you all should learn. Work more on endgames and improve your endgame skills. That will really help in your getting better results in your tournament games. Okay, so let us stop today's session with this, and the next session will be on Monday evening, same time. Okay, yeah. Hello, Yash.
Hope you enjoyed today's session. So we have an announcement here. Now we are offering Chess Hour Live annual subscription in just $9,999, means $250. Okay, you can avail offer from our website till 31st of July. Thank you, sir. Thank you all for attending sessions and for your time, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, Yash.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Good night and bye bye.